the thing I miss the most is the memes.
All right.
Although I like the Link Marines, I think are dead. They are.
Did you kill them?
Well, what is it at now? 8? I mean,
Oh, did you? All right, so hold on. Let's back up for a second. Let's talk about Bitcoin first. I don't know why you bought anything else other than just Bitcoin.
because the Link Marines were blowing up my thing. You got to buy Link Marines. It's like I see other shit. It's no different than the stock market. Everyone's pumping their own shit.
All right. What questions do you have about Bitcoin?
8. Look at that.
890. When'd you buy it?
So I bought it at, I think 14. It went to 19. I sold it at 16.
Oh, so you made money then?
About even, yeah. Well, Bitcoin. You want the see this is going to turn the crypto.
The 2017
Bitcoin is in my mind just one big Ponzi scheme.
Okay, why? The 2017 video you have. By the way, Bitcoin Marty says hello. That
fucking Bitcoin Marty. He's part of. First of all the people I know in Bitcoin Marty, Bubbly Gang are people.
Caleb.
Caleb, yeah, he told me to stop bashing. He's like, stop bashing Bitcoin.
Yeah. He came on the podcast. He played it. He understands it now.
I understand what I think you guys think it is. To me, it is a Ponzi scheme that you get in, and you just got to not be the one left holding the bag.
I'm going to give you ammo for the finance world, and then I'm going to tell you why Bitcoin's the solution. Ready?
Well, and I know it is. It's gold and pumping money, and they're set. I mean, I kind of get it.
The stock market. You know how you said it always goes up? It's like that 45-degree angle.
Correct.
Since 1971, direct 45-degree angle, a couple of drops, whatever, but it's straight up. That's because it's denominated in dollars. They're just devaluing the dollar, right? And stocks go up. If you denominate that same stock market in gold, the stock market's down since 1971. The stock market is a complete scam in terms of accruing value. It's all the dollar being devalued. So it goes straight up 45-degree angle, but if you denominate it in ounces of gold, it's down.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Well,
different language, but
no. Here's why it's important.
We're gonna go to mine gold.
No, here's why it's important. You bought a house, right?
Correct.
In where?
A lot of places.
Nantucket.
Yeah, I have one there. Yes.
Okay. Why'd you buy that house in Nantucket?
I love that place.
Okay.
I loved it. That's not something I was trying to get. Like I thought I'd live there the rest of my life.
Okay. And there wasn't that many to select from,
correct,
right?
Yes.
Okay. And because there's not that many, the prices are expensive, and you have a lot of money, so you could buy it.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Same thing in the digital world is there's some things that are just scarce. And if those things end up having a large community that wants them, what ends up happening? The price goes up.
Go up, correct.
Okay. So Bitcoin's only got 21 million, obviously. And the whole thing behind it is the strongest computing power in the world. So literally the computer network that runs Bitcoin is stronger than anything in the world. No government, nobody can hack it because it is the strongest computing network in the world. It's got more computing power on it than anything else. The reason why that's so important is because the whole idea of like, why does Barstool work? It's because you guys are completely decentralized. Like nobody, if they try to like come at you, they get attacked by all these other people at Barstool, right? Mm-hmm. And that decentralized type media model where you're not going and telling somebody, okay, send me your thing. I'm going to be the editor. And then like, I'm going to approve it. It's just like, here's a fucking camera, go post on your accounts and like, just blow it up. Right. Yep. And do it. That's the same type of thing that's going on, but with money now. So rather than the government saying, hey, today we're going to print more money, or remember what happened today with Penn, where they just all of a sudden, all these new shares, right? Yep. You're like, fuck, what the hell? Like I had no say in this.
Right.
That's basically what the Federal Reserve does. So earlier this year, they printed $3+ trillion. You didn't get a vote. I didn't get a vote. It's just fuck. Okay. Whatever cash you have. So let's say you're worth 200 mil and I don't know, $30 million in cash, right? That $30 million of cash, if you leave it in cash, is going to be worth less next year, right? Because the purchasing power goes down. And so what ends up happening is you're financially incentivized to get out of the dollar and buy stocks, buy gold, buy fucking property, whatever. But with Bitcoin, they can't do that because there's only 21 million and a computer runs it. So the only way to change the computer is if more than half of the people agree to change what the computer does. So there's no like old guy in a suit who basically is like, I think that we should print more money, or you know what, we should take some money out of circulation. No human is involved in making the decision. It's the consensus of everyone involved. So the reason why it becomes so valuable is because nobody can fuck with it. And that's why the Bitcoiners are so like rabid about it, is they're just like, it doesn't matter what anybody says, what you think, I think, anybody, nobody can fuck with it. And because it's like that on the internet and globally everyone's subjected to the same rules, it continues to accrue value because people realize, wait a second, they're fucking with the dollar. They're fucking with the euro. They're fucking with the yen, the RMB, whatever. But the only thing you can't fuck with is Bitcoin. And so as that keeps going, you should just take 1 to 5% of your net worth, put it in Bitcoin, don't look at it. Just leave it there. And that'll be the best performing thing in your entire portfolio. If you take 1% out of everything else in your portfolio, whether you own real estate, stocks, anything.
What's 1% going to give me?
Well, let's say it goes up 20x.
What's 1% of 200 million? I don't have a 200 million, but what's 1%? So $1 million, I make 20 million in what? How long?
So there's something called the halving. I'm sure that they've all told you about this, but basically the whole idea is every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that shows up every day gets cut in half. So it used to be 50 Bitcoin a day, or 50 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. Then it was 25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes and 12 and a half. Now it's at 6.25. That just happened in May. It got cut in half again. Every time that that's happened, the next 18 months, Bitcoin's gone up an incredible amount because it's a supply shock, right? It's like, think of it as if we all wanted something and then...
What is even Bitcoin at right now?
Like 10,500. Do you remember when you first started buying it?
Well, I bought way back in the day.
Yeah. What was the price?
More than that.
Was it over 10,000?
Yeah, I think so. I bought it in that huge rush when everyone was.
Yeah, but it was only above 10,000 for like 20 or 30 days. So you would have to really have bad timing.
I thought it was close to like 20.
It went from 10,000 to 20,000 in 18 days in 2017.
Yeah, so I probably bought around 15 or 16.
Okay. Do you still have it? Or did you sell it?
It's lost. It was in one of those keychains.
You lost it?
Yeah, that was another part. It's like I don't like having to hold shit in like keychains and weird and like Marty was
how much did you have?
Probably like 50 grand. Marty like had to do it.
Yeah. He helped you, and then he gave it. He gave you the.
He gave me something with the weirdest code.
And you lost it.
Like, yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
So I lost that, but I'd be down on that, and that was what 2017.
Yeah. But you got to remember, but you got to understand that the markets, the way that they work is so that halving happens, it goes up a bunch in price because there's a supply shock. Usually it takes about 18 months for that to happen. Then it draws down 85%. It's happened 3 times already.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing why I say it's like, so I got out. I really this latest round, I think I had 1.25 million in it at one point. And what went up, went down, and then went back. And I was like, I absolutely don't know what the fuck this is. And it's too much money to not, like, at least with stocks, even though I don't believe half the shit they say, like, okay, our stock got tanked today. I can do a direct, like, line to, we did the stock offering. I know I got, or earnings, or, and what, I don't, like, I think a lot of it's bullshit. I think the day-to-day, like, but I understand. It's like almost like watching a sports game. Like, all right, my team lost. I bet them -2. They lost by 3. I lose my money. Bitcoin, I have no fucking, like, there's no rationale. Why is it going up? I have no idea why it's going up or down.
Think of like a technology company. Right? When Barstool first started, actually, it's a great idea. You didn't have a stock price, right?
Correct.
So it was just every day. The only person who saw the P&L or whatever was you, if you guys even had one, right?
Right.
And if there was a stock price in the early days of Barstool, it'd be like in the morning, it would be through the roof, right? By the afternoon, it'd be down. And it was basically like what you emotionally felt. There was highs, there was lows. Right. It was like super volatile. You're like, are we going to fucking survive? Are we not? Right. Whatever. Super, super volatile. But because you were a private company, there's no stock price. So if you think of Bitcoin, it's really a technology, right? And it has that same volatility that Barstool had or other tech companies have. It's just that there's a price associated with it. So what you're seeing is all that incredible volatility. But like, imagine if Uber, the first couple of years.
Yeah, but what is that? What is that based on? Emotion right now?
No, well, it's price discovery, right? So if you think of Bitcoin,
like, people are buying and selling Bitcoin. To me,
did you hear about this guy, MicroStrategy? What he did? MicroStrategy.
I saw that in my travels, but I didn't research it. But it was popping up like on my thing.
His $500 million on his balance sheet, publicly traded company over $1 billion valuation. He took 85%, $425 million out of dollars and put it in Bitcoin. And the reason he said is, if I leave this in cash, it's going to get devalued. So every year that I sit with this cash, it's going to be worth less and less and less. So he moved it to Bitcoin. Now, that's a really, really aggressive move.
You think?
Right? Of course. But if you think about from a personal perspective, one, every investment you make, you want asymmetry, right? If you think about the best investors in the world, they're right like 55, 60% of the time. So all these guys who are like, oh, I'm right every time, they're all fucking full of shit.
Gerber.
Right? Well, whoever, right? They're all full of shit.
Gerber.
The absolute best investors in the world, right? 55 to 60% of the time. But they only put trades on where it's like, I can lose 10% or I can make 20 times my money, right? So asymmetric in their favor that they're willing to take kind of the losses 45% of the time, because the 55% of the time they're right, it just pays for it in spades, right? So what you want to do is create a portfolio of assets that have asymmetry, right? So Penn stock has asymmetry in a sense. It's not going to go to zero, right? And it can go up a lot. Bitcoin has asymmetry in that, yeah, maybe it drops down, but it drops 10, 20%, but it also can go to, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And then what you want is you want a bunch of stuff that's non-correlated. So if you have Penn stock and then 6 other stocks and they're all moved together, so when Penn goes down, they go down, well, then just put it all in fucking Penn stock. Like, why do you have all 6 of them, right? Because they all move together. But what you want is you want different types of assets. So you want Bitcoin, you want Penn stock, you want whatever. And then what ends up happening is if Penn stock's down, that doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin is up or down. There's just no correlation, right?
Although
or low correlation.
Bitcoin lately seems to be tied to what's going on in the stock market.
Good observation. So in liquidity crisis, right? And since March, basically, the reason why the Fed pumps so much money in is because everyone fucking panics and says,
like, to me, what my original gut was, if you asked me before, like, this would be beneficial to Bitcoin, but it hasn't been.
It's the best performing asset this year.
Bitcoin?
Like from an asset class. It's up like 60%.
When you say asset.
So think stocks, precious metals, crypto, like whatever, right? So yes, there are individual stocks that perform better than some, but as a whole, stocks are basically up single digit percentage from year to date. Gold's up like 20, 25%. Bitcoin's up over 50%.
Right.
So it's outperformed all the other ones on like an asset class basis. And the whole thing is they're pumping all this money. People are scared of inflation. They run to inflation hedge assets, precious metals, real estate, whatever. But Bitcoin's the most volatile. And so it dropped 50% in a single day earlier this year. Like, scares the shit out of people, right? But then when everything goes up, it just goes up more than everything else.
And that doubly scares the shit out of people, I think. In part of my, I know what you're saying, like what, Satoshi or whatever the fuck the guy's name is. There's nobody I'm an accountability guy. So like Nikola, that guy was a fraud, and he's like, I like knowing, even if you stole my money, I like knowing who stole it. It's like, I can be like, this fucking guy. So
you see, I think he deleted his Twitter account.
He did.
He did?
Yeah, he got out. He got called out. And so to me,
is that what's worse, losing your job or having to delete your Twitter account? Like, would you rather get kicked out of Barstool or have to delete your Twitter account?
I have no problem deleting. I'll just come out. It's like Michael Scott Paper Company. I got like lots of names I can do, so I'm not worried about that. But that's part of the thing is Bitcoin, and I get, like, I understand what you're saying, but still, there's an unease, and maybe it's, I also have I don't put my toe in the water.
Yeah.
Like, I generally jump in. Like, all right, I want to make like 10 grand. I don't want to fucking do that. I want to put millions into something. Like, if you look at what I'm doing right now, like, that's why I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar with my own fucking company. It's like, but that's how I operate. So not knowing, being like,
do you think Penn stock or Bitcoin performs better through the end of next year?
It's a tough one.
Well, it makes you think.
Well, no, it makes me think because if you told me a month ago that Penn was going to be like 75, I'd be like, that's crazy. Like, we're not going. Like, I was happy when it hit like 40. I bought it at like 20. So it's an interesting one because it's not only just Penn. We've hit, and you could look back, we've hit a legalized vice. So I don't think people truly know the market of what we're in. And one of the things I keep hearing, whether it's Penn, whether it's DraftKings, anybody, which I have a bananas disagreement with, is, and I haven't really said it, people keep saying the sports book is a gateway drug. It goes to iCasino. All the money is in iCasino.